seriously.
14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Granny's Peach Tea, episode 219, on this New Year's Eve, if you will. And we're excited to be back. I know we've been gone for a little bit now, but things have prevented us, but it's all right. We have survived. We're back and better than ever. So excited to be back here, and thanks for joining us. If you're joining us on the Facebook live stream, if you're joining us on YouTube, or wherever you found your audio-only podcast, we always appreciate the support. We got a full docket here, Jason. We've got
to go through.
Yeah, but we got a lot to get through here, man. Tonight we got two Avengers Doomsday teaser trailers to talk about here. I mean, they're pretty short, but a lot to discuss there. We got Fallout Season 2 is back. We got episodes 1 and 2 to get into here. And with our opening theme tonight, we have Alien as we begin our dive. I was going to say deep dive, but I guess it still is a deep dive.
Yeah, it is. You had said it, like, deep dive and grannies are kind of starting to merge.
It's forming the worlds are colliding. It's there. It's like the Upside Down and Hawkins are all together for our fellow Stranger Things people.
That's right. Yeah. David Harbour is there yelling at you on set and being belligerent, apparently.
I'm glad that was shut down, because I felt like, I don't know, whether it happened. I don't know. It was
that officially shut down? I don't know. I just heard what happened, the accusations.
Yeah, I mean, it supposedly became a story, and then they all kind of shut it down, and I don't know. They said it was kind of overblown a bit, so I don't know. Whatever. He strikes me as a really good dude, so I would have been really disappointed if that was like, what happened, but I don't know.
I didn't know anything about it. I just want to make the joke, because that's what I'm all about. I'm all about making the fucking joke and not giving a shit about context.
Oh, yes. Context is a thing.
This is post-context America, Ed.
That's true. I keep forgetting that. But, I mean, I appreciate you for reeling me back in for this. Jason, what's up, man? It's been a minute. I was sick last week and for a little bit there. But, we didn't get a chance to really chat here. A lot's happened. Christmas and other stuff and Gremlins.
A lot of Gremlins, 21 and 22 Jump Street, which I did almost back to back.
Oh, okay.
So all right. So I've got a lot to share about things I've been watching that have nothing to do with this podcast, which is what I usually do to fill the time when Ed needs to send the podcast out. But I did something that I never do ever. I fucking binged Christmas movies this Christmas. I never do that. I hate Christmas.
Wow.
I
Okay.
am Ebenezer Scrooge. I'm the guy who's like, bah humbug. Let me keep it my own way. Stop persecuting me because I'm probably Jewish, which, I mean, in all fairness, it probably is. But that's another argument. But I watched It's a Wonderful Life. That kicked it off for me.
Yeah.
Which I just think that's a fantastic movie. That movie makes me cry at least at 2 parts every fucking time, and it's not always even the same 2 parts. So I watched that. That's beautiful, and then I watched the original. Well, not original. I watched the 1950s Alistair Sim like Scrooge, which is like, but that's like the pinnacle of the Dickens tale. So I had never seen it before. my friend and my friend Pete, old roommate friend of mine, used to swear by it. Said it was like the best, the best, the best. And to piss him off, I never watched it, but I actually watched it this time, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. And then, of course, I then topped that off with Christmas Vacation.
Nice. That's a classic. All right, now you're in my
Gotta go,
wheelhouse now. Okay.
gotta go to classics. Then I did a little Scrooge with Bill Murray, which is how I
All right.
keep Christmas.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And yeah, I think that was it. Those are my big Christmas movies that I've watched. And again, I never do any of that. Oh no, and I also watched Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm sorry, Muppet Christmas Carol, which
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen that, Ed, but that's a fucking treasure. That is a very funny movie. Even as an adult, I found that very funny.
Nice. Yeah, Angie and we started. I felt like it was just before COVID, maybe, or maybe it was post COVID. We started doing the Christmas movie marathon stuff leading up to it. We were trying to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Like Christmas Day has always been like a big NBA day, right? Like out of the sports.
Okay.
NBA owns Christmas Day. They start at noon. They have games on literally until like midnight. It's nuts. And now the NFL jumped into
that.
Did
they buy it from Coca-Cola?
I don't know. Dude, that fucking Coke commercial, man. I feel like it was haunting my dreams. I guarantee you it probably was in a way because I fall asleep with the TV on a lot. I guarantee you I heard it while I was sleeping. It was like really embedded. But so what we do is Christmas Eve is kind of sports free, right? So we do a lot of it then. Like we talked about this before. Our go-to on Christmas Eve around 8:00 is always Die Hard. Like,
yep, I mean that's a good one.
We do Die Hard and then we do like gifts after because we're not waiting until the morning.
That's actually a very beautiful tradition. You guys watch Die Hard every year and then exchange gifts. I didn't know that part of it.
Yes, that's our thing. We did that. Like if the day comes and we have kids and we gotta shift it to Christmas Day in the morning, then so be it. But
that means you don't get up at 7 a.m. to watch Die Hard, but
I mean, it might. I feel like Die Hard would always have to be Christmas Eve though. Like Christmas Eve is just it's when it happens. I don't know. It became a thing with me and my dad a while ago, and like it just kind of just is kept going. It's taken on a life of its own.
I love it.
So there's that. We did Guardians of the Galaxy holiday Christmas special.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That was the lead-in, and now you know me very well. So there's another one that has to be a fixture. Is Jingle All the Way.
Of course, it's Arnold.
It's Arnold on Christmas, and I've had it before. I have an actual Turbo Man in a box in my room over here behind me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I got to do that. I saw Home Alone a couple of days earlier, and that's usually a kind of a staple, and so is Elf. But we saw them. They happened to be on TV, so we watched them. We were like, all right, well, we kind of got that in already. So we did Home Alone 2.
That counts.
Yeah, we did Home Alone 2 this year.
Was it the newer cut or was it the original Trump cut? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess it was Disney Plus has the Trump cut, so we didn't get to do the edit there.
I wasn't sure, but there is an edit. They do edit him out of that movie.
They really?
In some cuts. Yeah, I'm not making that up.
I thought you were fucking around. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest.
No. Because apparently, and I'm not shit talking the president. I would never do that here. But when in the 80s, 90s, whenever he made a cameo in a movie, it was because the only way he would let people film on his property is if he got to be in the movie. So this Home Alone 2, I believe, is filmed at like Trump Tower or something, right?
Yeah.
That's where he runs into him. So Trump had to be in the movie. So sometimes they'd leave it in, and most of the time it would hit the editing floor because it had to say that he was filmed for the movie, not that he actually appeared in the movie, which is why it could be cut out, which is why some people actually do cut it out at this point.
Wow. I did not know that. We did, whatever. We watched whatever was on Disney Plus because that's one of the, I don't own that. Yeah.
Okay. And look, let's be clear. the Trump cut is fine. I think it's actually pretty funny if you can divorce him and what we know about him now and just remember the good old days where he was he owned New Jersey and he did shit like this. Like this was funny back then. That was funny back in the day.
Yeah. And then since Stranger Things season 5, volume 2 dropped on Christmas night at 8:00.
All right.
We got right in. We couldn't wait. We finished Home Alone 2 around 8. So we're like, screw it. We're gonna shift over to Stranger Things, and we did that. But then Friday in the theater, 3:00, one showing. We saw Gremlins.
Oh wait, you saw that in the theater?
Yes, I saw that in the theater.
Holy shit!
That was the first day there was no Contagious, and I was like, I'm getting out of the house and I'm going to go see fucking Gremlins.
I'm fucking so jealous. That's awesome.
You were away.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't mean I'm not jealous.
No, we talked about it.
We did. I just forgot because I have the memory of a fucking sieve. But no. How was it? Like, how was the experience of seeing it in the theater?
It was awesome. I'm glad I got to add that to my bucket list of seeing movies, because me and you've been on this kick now for a minute, right? With all the re-releases of movies.
Yep.
Getting around to all the shit I didn't see. I remember seeing 2 in the theater. I didn't see 1 in the theater.
Lucky son of a bitch. I never saw either of them in the theater, and I loved 2 even as a kid. And I the hill I will die on is that 2 is at least in the top 5 greatest sequels of all time.
All right, so you've kind of scaled that back now, so to do off our group text.
Here's the thing: in the group text, clearly I was being a bit funny. All right, clearly it's funny to think of someone. The hill they're going to die on is that Gremlins 2, the new batch, is the greatest sequel of all time. When they're admitting Terminator 2 is in the mix, I mean, but however. The serious hill I would die on is that Gremlins 2, the new batch, is top 5 greatest sequels of all time. Serious. Because it just hear me out here. It completely satirizes sequels without, and this is what I think really puts it above 22 Jump Street, which I loved. I thought those movies were a lot of fun. And I especially like the ending credits I texted you about were brilliant when it was just 35 Jump Street, 47 Jump Street. That was just so fucking funny because it took you through the entire ridiculous franchise. But the one thing that Gremlins 2 has is it never nudges you and says, we're a sequel. It's just straight up making fun of sequels and trusting the audience to like get that's what they're doing. And wrongly, because most people didn't get that.
Yeah, I think it's funny, like looking and kind of like what we're doing tonight, right? Like we're both in our now just past the upper 40s now, Bart, right?
Oh, it's a climb.
No, but it's all right. But I mean, listen, it's interesting though watching a movie that I saw when I was 10 in Gremlins 2, and I saw Gremlins. I remember really young. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because back then, 80s, the things that were marketed to kids were not like, there wasn't a lot of thought put into it. It was like, oh, Gizmo's marketable to children, so we're going to market this as a kid's movie. Now, the experience of rewatching Gremlins and Gremlins 2, because...
not kids' movies.
No. And the thing was, like, I recall that, like, as I got older, because I've watched them since, right? Like, but it's been a long time, honestly, since I've watched them. And Gremlins is definitely going to be in the Christmas movie mix now again. Like I think it's going to be officially be a staple. 2 is not at all. But Gremlins.
Well, it's not Christmas, right?
No, it's not. It has nothing to do. That's the reason why. It's not that. But it's interesting though because we saw one in the theater, and I remember thinking to myself when I left the theater, I'm like, man, I really do like still love this movie. And I did as a kid, but as a kid, it was like. Oh, Gizmo and stuff like that, and seeing the Gremlins, like there was a lot of things lost on me. As a kid, as an adult, though, I'm like, I found Gremlins to be really, and it's funny because we're doing like a segment on Gremlins now. I knew this was going to happen.
We have to. You saw Gremlins too, my friend.
Yeah, And I did. And again, I remember seeing that as a kid in a theater too. And I remember liking it as a kid, right? But the thing was, like, just to briefly get on, like, the first Gremlins, I find that a very interesting movie because I'm like, I don't know who the movie's for exactly, simply because it's the Gizmo stuff and everything. Obviously, like, pulls on kids and stuff, and like it's cute. And no, Gizmo's adorable, like that whole thing, and his whole shtick is adorable. But then the whole Gremlins aspect of it completely flips the movie on its own head. And it's a fucking dark comedy. Like, it is a dark horror-ish comedy.
And what happened?
The balloons that came in. Like, these things keep popping up. Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't know. Maybe I touched something because I have this on my phone. But I'll say this, Ed, and that is a great question, but it's a question that you are looking at now as an adult living in 2025. That was 100% made for kids. Don't forget the never-ending story. You know, the shared trauma that people our age have of watching Artax the horse fucking drown in the moat of sorrow.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It
was a different time. So, like, I think, and whereas I agree with you, that is not a movie for children. I would not show my son Gremlins right now, and he is the age I was when it came out, and it was marketed to me.
Yeah, you know, like, I remember, like, images of, like, Gizmo in the pink Corvette and everything, and again, like, Gizmo. I remember as a kid having a Gizmo and everything. Like, sure,
I had a Gizmo plushie. I had a Gizmo, like, you know, those rubber figures that we all collected as kids, right? Like things like that. Like, I mean, they were fucking toys. There was a toy market.
Yeah, and I remember, like, even having, like, some of the Gremlins, like Stripe and stuff like that. Like, it's there, but it's just wild though, because, like, the way, like, Mrs. Peltzer, like, goes in and murders them, like, viciously.
Oh, like one in the blender.
The blender, the microwave.
And let's not ignore that people are murdered in this movie. The fucking science teacher is murdered.
Yeah, fucking Corey Feldman and his dumbass, like, is the one who, like, really got the train rolling on this, and he has no remorse over it.
Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, it's God, and then just how terrifying as an adult. And maybe this is coming from someone who spent a good deal of time in bars like this, but how terrifying is it watching the Gremlins getting drunk in that 80s fucking podunk town bar while Phoebe, like 15-year-old Phoebe Cates, is like, "Oh, can't I just get you another drink, you scary gremlin?" It's like, holy shit, I've drank in bars like that. You just replace the Gremlins are just a metaphor for drunks.
Yeah, basically. That's basically what it is. I mean, there's definitely like logic questions you need to throw out the window with both of those movies.
No.
Whatever.
And here's the thing: you maybe have some right to ask some logic questions in the first, but by the second, any fucking logic question you ask, I'm going to answer with, there was a female gremlin that raped Robert Picardo in a bathroom and he liked it. And that is the only answer you're ever going to get, because if that isn't enough to break your logic spectrum, then you're watching the wrong movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's to get into the second one briefly, right? Because again, I'm gonna just go. I think the first one's better. I do. I like the first one better than the second one. I do.
Yeah, I think you're wrong, but we can disagree.
It's fine. That's fine. We don't have to agree on
okay,
it.
Yeah.
Now the second one off, like, I get it, and I watched a bunch of stuff and did a little deep dive on Gremlins 2 and yada yada, and I get it. Like, Joe Dante didn't even like the first movie and stuff, and like, I get it. And he takes his shots at the first movie and the second movie, and I also kind of got a little bit of like, all right, dude, like, you're kind of biting the hands that feeds you with this, like, stop. You know, like, it's and it's fine. You could have some fun with it and everything like that, and I appreciate that. And plus, I do appreciate the balls it had to kind of make that movie.
Yeah, and actually, what I appreciate about Joe Dante taking that stance is he's also making fun of himself.
Yeah,
because like you had like that first one was Joe Dante. That was a passion project. That was something that he cared about. that was something he wanted to do, right?
Mhm.
And then that second one, he didn't really want to do. So he's like, all right, fine. You want a fucking sequel? You want to pay me to do a sequel? I'm going to shit all over sequels and make fun of everything. And the fact that he has Leonard Maltin, uh, literally reading the review he wrote in genuine, like as a genuine critique of the first one, reading it on his show, and then getting murdered by the Gremlins. It's like, come on, Joe Dante's even fucking. He's picking a fight with himself at this point as well.
No, and that's the thing. I do appreciate the parody that Gremlins 2 is, and it's taking its own
Yeah.
shots. And the thing is, I do like the movie. Don't get me wrong. And I
Okay,
I still love. No, I didn't dislike it. Angie disliked it. She thought it went too.
that's fair.
She thought, and I can see that. Like, she also doesn't like Airplane. She doesn't like Naked
Yeah.
Gun. And so she does
That's
not.
not her. That's not her thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if anyone's watched the show, then they'll like, we love that kind of shit. So I appreciate it for what it is. I just give the edge to the first one just because it is the first one. There's a lot of stuff in there. The second one, I also give it a lot of credit for what it is. It is a completely bonkers movie. It's a very weird movie. On top of that, like you had mentioned, the whole female gremlin thing at the end. If that's how you choose to end your movie.
Yeah, you end the movie. You end the movie with a female gremlin raping Robert Picardo.
And he kind of is
and he's into it. And he's into it.
Yeah. I did
but
like.
Also, like yeah, go ahead, please.
No, and the thing was, I told Angie going into the second one, I was like, the second one has a lot of more like I do like the idea that the gremlins, even though there is 8,000 of them, and some of them are really super random, and the ones who they introduce the splicing thing and stuff like that, and like they do explain how it happens, and I get it where they're all drinking from tubes and they all start mutating, and it's pretty interesting actually. And I'm glad the electric gremlin pays off at the end.
Yep. Yeah. It's Chekhov's electric gremlin.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't even. And I just discovered that Key and Peele sketch.
Oh God!
So I was cracking up when I saw that. Yeah,
and it's so true. It's so random. Like, and we all right. Yeah, I know we're spending a lot of time on Gremlins too, but come on. When are we going to get to talk about
this? It's never going to happen otherwise. So we just didn't.
When Tony Randall starts talking as the brain, which is my favorite gremlin, that's fucking hysterical. The fact that you get the plant, everyone forgets the salad gremlin. The plant gremlin.
Yes.
This movie has Christopher Lee in it. Christopher fucking Lee is in this movie.
Hulk Hogan is in this movie.
Hulk Hogan is in this movie. The twins from Terminator 2 are in this movie.
Yeah. Yep. It's a wild, crazy movie. But I will say this though. We'll wrap up on Gremlins on this part.
All right.
Because the thing is, like, we talked about this just over the last 2 months. They officially announced Gremlins 3 is actually happening.
Yes.
Joe Dante apparently has nothing to do with it. But I'm going to be honest with you, though. I actually think that's for the better. Only because, like, if he didn't want to do the second one and he didn't want to do it, then, he already did his satire on sequels and even on this becoming a franchise. I just don't know what else more he has to do with it.
See, I kind of figured that he has a whole new world to satirize of the reboots and the legacy sequels and shit getting.
But is it still Gremlins at this point, or are we kind of just getting Joe Dante's commentary on Hollywood?
Well, but is it going to be Gremlins without him, or are we just getting a carbon copy of the first one that's actually satirized for kids?
Well, I think the thing from what I saw, Chris Columbus is supposed to be directing it. Who was a writer on the first two movies?
Yeah, okay,
he wrote
that
the first
gives me a little hope.
Yeah, and he became a director since then. So like he did Home Alone 1 and 2. it all ties in somehow. He's he did the first Harry Potter movie. He has a huge thing. He has a huge resume at this point. So him coming back to direct the third one and kind of make it more. I am very curious to know what this movie is going to be. I'm kind of fascinated by what the hell it's even going to be.
Same. I'm not writing it off either way. I'm just
no. Yeah, I'm really fascinated by what it's going to be, but because of what Joe Dante did with the new batch, I'm kind of like, all right, maybe he's kind of again, if you kind of if that's what we got, and you didn't want to do it anyway. I just don't know where you would go instead of, again, your idea of are we turning Gremlins into just Joe Dante taking parody shots at Hollywood going forward, or are we going to try to find something? I wanted it to be something different, something new.
Yeah, and I think it also tracks because I prefer the second one, you prefer the first one, and we're both literally saying you're saying you kind of wanted to return more to the first, or try to take another wild shot, and I'm saying I wanted to return more to the second or take a wild shot.
well, the thing too, and then looking at it from the studio's perspective, though, the second one bombed hard. Apparently at the box office.
But that's people didn't understand it. Sorry,
I get it, but think about it though. If I'm going to invest my money in Gremlins again, if I'm going to revive this thing, I don't think I'm going to go with because the first one was a massive success.
It was.
I'm probably going to lean towards what was successful versus what wasn't. But I do agree with you though. The parody thing was weird at that time because the Naked Gun already it was kind of happening still, right? That franchise was active, even though it's back again. And remember, The Last Action Hero, which we both love, was Arnold self-parodying himself, and that thing bombed too.
And I say that Last Action Hero and Gremlins 2 they're so akin to each other, and I think part of it is the fact that people were just not ready for it.
They weren't ready for self-parody.
Yes, no, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Because I'm sure there were people who saw Gremlins 2 and went, "You're making fun of a movie I liked, and this is supposed to be the sequel to that movie. I don't get it." And now I think we're at a part all we do is nostalgia and parody at this point, right? We don't even create new things. So I think now it's kind of oh shit, we need a nostalgia parody. So now I think if Gremlins 2 came out today, I think it would kill. That's all I'm saying.
I know. I don't disagree with you on that, though. I think it would be received very differently. I think so. But I'm really fascinated about to see where the third one is because they must have something good. And I also kind of forgot that there's an animated series on HBO Max called Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai that has 2 seasons.
Really?
Yeah, and Joe Dante apparently is a consultant on that.
All right, here's the real question, Ed, and then we have to move into the actual stuff. But here's the real question: have the Gremlins or the Mogwai ever appeared in a comic book?
I mean, I would imagine they had to at some point.
Because I think it then gives us free reign to decide if we want to go back and cover these movies. Because clearly we have a lot to say about it, and if there's new content coming out.
So, I would say loosely. I actually just Googled Gremlins comic book. I mean, it's loose.
We didn't get Batman versus the Gremlins versus Ash versus the Predator in a comic book ever.
Yeah,
what?
I mean, probably. Yeah, it's probably. But I'm somewhat curious to watch this animated show. But I also saw that it was really directed for kids, though.
Okay.
And it's kind of about the origins of the Mogwai. It's set in the 20s, and it's about really origins of the Mogwai, which I'm going to be honest, I'm actually kind of interested in. Because we don't get a lot of information about that.
We don't, and the fact that it's in the 20s really is I'm interested in. I'd love to see a Mogwai jazz singer.
Maybe. I don't know.
Probably not, but I would love to see that, or a Mogwai bartender in a speakeasy. and you're not supposed to get them wet. But if you get them wet with booze, you just get like drunk Mogwai, which are even worse when they turn into gremlins because they're drunk gremlins.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely took me down a little rabbit hole there for like a good couple of
All
days
right.
for sure.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad that we got to talk about it. I clearly a lot. I love the original too, but
Yeah.
Gremlins 2, I also got to say this, was on pay-per-view during that magical time where my family was stealing cable in the 90s.
Likewise.
So I have seen that movie literally 100 times. And seriously, Ed, if you just showed up at my house right now and went, hey, I got a six-pack. You want to watch Gremlins 2? I'd be like, it's fucking in the DVD already. Let's go, brother.
Let's go. Oh man. Yeah. No. It was fun. Angie's reaction to it was really funny too, because she's like, "This is so stupid."
Which it is. She's not wrong.
The spider one messed her up because she's scared of spiders.
Oh no!
As soon as she saw him drinking the thing, she's like, "Nope."
Come on, she didn't laugh when Gizmo was gearing up, quoting Rambo.
Oh,
Survive war, you're gonna become war.
Oh, listen, when he was watching it in the opening scene and he's watching Rambo, I nudged her. I'm like, that's gonna be important later.
Oh shit, dude! I don't know if I've told you this, but I own the novelization, like one of the original novelizations of Gremlins 2: The New Batch.
Really?
Someone gave it to me as a gift because they know how much I loved it. And when I briefly had a podcast many years ago, which was called Movies on Trial, where we put movies on trial that were either beloved and we thought shouldn't have been, or hated we thought shouldn't have been. It was a courtroom setting, and so we would all swear in physically on my copy of Gremlins 2: The New Batch.
And that would be one of the ones that definitely fits the bill for sure.
Absolutely. I would defend that movie any day of the week.
All right, so thank you for the Gremlin stuff. Sometimes impromptu segments happen and they're fucking awesome.
Yes, and look, if you're listening to this in the future and you're just trying to skip ahead until these two idiots start talking about Fallout, then you have hit the point right now.
Or not just yet, because we do have 2 trailers.
Well, the trailers are starting.
The trailers are starting for our little show here. All right, so apparently one of the biggest things going around right now is the leaking of the Avengers Doomsday teaser trailers that have been attached to Avatar Fire and Ash. Cross marketing campaign by Disney. Basically, the plan supposedly is that there are going to be 4 teaser trailers, one each week attached to Avatar. Avengers. Again, we call it what it is. Jason and I have enjoyed the last couple of phases. We do agree that the consistency of the MCU is not quite what it was, but still more good than bad. But then you have an Avengers movie coming out, which Marvel has invested a stupid amount of money in, and Disney has as well. They want to get back into good graces of everybody. This is the one that's going to kind of bring everyone together again. And they're sparing no expense. They're starting to market this movie a year out in front of another movie that, is supposed to do big bucks. So I can see the logic of Disney saying, hey, we need to get this in front of eyeballs, everyone's eyeballs. And Avatar being like, all right, Avengers crowd come in and stuff like that, cross promotion. I totally understand. Now, the trailers have been leaked on bootleg version, but then on Tuesdays of the fall after that weekend, apparently they're being released officially. So we're gonna watch the 2 of these things, and then we'll get into the overall discussion. Jason has not seen these, so this should be interesting.
I have not, and I will tell you this: I got a text from Rick about these. And I got a text almost directly after from my nephew Alex, who watches the show sometimes. Like, stay off the internet. There are major spoilers. I know you don't like spoilers. And I was like, yeah, I already got spoiled. I get pretty sure I already got spoiled. And he was like, you got to tell Ed because that's against the policy of the page. I'm like, no, it was our actual friend in real life. Nothing to be done.
Exactly. So it is what it is. But it's kind of weird though, because like as these things have been bootlegged out there, they're being written about and described everywhere. So
Okay.
this is kind of common knowledge. So this is a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm not pissed at all. I just thought it was
No.
funny that I got this text almost back to back.
No, and I appreciate Alex though holding it up because that's kind of one of
Me
the things
too.
that we like to do. All right, so here is the first one that dropped about 2 weeks ago. So let's watch this one together.
Hey, bud.
All right, so that is the first one that was attached to.
All right.
And I guess let's get into the second one then, and then I guess we'll just kind of 1 second. Let me just switch screens here. All right, so this is the one that actually was released online officially earlier today.
All my life,
See it.
I have answered every call to honor, duty, to war. But now fate has given me something I never sought. A child, a life untouched by the storm. Lend me the strength of the old fathers, so that I may fight once more, defeat one more enemy, and return home to her, not as a warrior, but as warmth, to teach her not battle, but stillness, the kind I never knew. Please, Father, heed my words.
All right. So, your thoughts now that we've, it's not speculation. It's kind of funny though, because like our first episode, when we did our news thing, we talked about Chris Evans returning to the MCU, and it's actually happening now.
Yeah.
Like officially happening.
Yeah. I got to see how it's handled because I think the fact that they were planning on bringing him back makes a lot more sense that they've got Robert Downey Jr. to come back, but playing Victor Von Doom. Because clearly we know that Doom is alternate universe, because we know the Fantastic Four are, so clearly it's going to be an alternate universe Doom. I'm still hoping it's not the only Doom we get, because I want to see, but that's another discussion to have when we see the movie. So I like what it sets up of, Captain America having to face up against his friend again. I do kind of dig that, but it does make me kind of worry. Like, are they kind of saying that we've got nothing new and we need to get people back on board? So we're bringing your favorites back, and will it work? Sure. I mean, I'm very excited to see him back, but it just and I think they it looks like they have something good with it. But I guess my fear is after this, do they have enough to sustain it, or are we getting to the end? You know what I mean?
I will say that number one, well, no, first off, number one, I'm very excited that Chris Evans is actually coming back.
Of course.
I kind of always we discussed this, right? Because we even said like the story's been out there for a while. Apparently, it was correct many years later. And I do notice it says Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday.
True.
I do
Very
not
true.
think he's coming back to be, and I think that the symbolism of him folding away and putting away the Captain America outfit, he's not coming back to take the shield from Sam.
I
He's
agree.
gonna. I think he's just coming to be Steve Rogers. Okay, from what I understand, and the rumors have been that apparently, and I think we talked about this last time, the rumors are going to be that Doctor Doom's whole thing about wanting to save the multiverse has a lot to do with what Steve's choice at the end
Right.
of Endgame. So bringing him
And
back
I think that's
makes
cool.
sense. Yes, I think that's very cool. And there are new heroes confirmed that we've gotten in the last couple. So I do think that that's interesting. My guess is the long game here is that Chris Evans is back for these two Avengers movies and nothing more. Same thing with Robert Downey Jr. I think they're just back for these Avengers movies, and they're going to try to kind of like pass the torch again because they do. The MCU, I guess, in some way might be acknowledging that they kind of fumbled the handoff the first time. So let's execute it correctly this time, and that's fine. And also, again, if you have an interesting story to tell with this, and it looks like they really do,
I agree. It does.
I'm all for it, and I don't want him. And I actually don't want him coming back to be Captain America. Him seeing Sam with the shield and maybe like kind of open to like co-sign the audience onto this. Like,
Yeah,
I think
that would
that's
be
cool.
nice.
I think it's a smart move.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. If that's what they're doing with this, if this is just a hey, we kind of fucked up the handoff, so we're gonna give you an interesting story that gives you that handoff done properly, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, and that's what I think.
I'm just more afraid that this is kind of like them going, we don't know how to get back on track, so let's get the band back together. You know what I mean? And I hope it's not that, and it doesn't even look like it's that, but I can't say it's not a fear because the MCU's been going on a while, and sometimes things just can't be sustained. I mean, well, no, nothing is sustainable forever. I guess that's it.
I mean, I also think both can be true, and I'm actually okay with it. Like, it's fine. I do think these trailers and the marketing this early and the way they're marketing it, I do think it is like, hey, we need to get the entire audience back on board again.
Right.
And that's why it's like we're going to lead off with Steve Rogers. Thor never went away, but it was also like, hey, serious Thor will return in Avengers Doomsday. Like, hey, we're going to acknowledge some people didn't really, and Chris Hemsworth has even admitted himself that maybe they went too far with Love and Thunder, and it's fine. We're not going to erase the events of it and pretend it didn't happen, right? Because love is in this, and that's what he's got now to lose, because Thor is a character who's been put through the ringer more than anyone, arguably in the entire MCU. I mean, the dude has really lost every single thing. Yeah. And remember, he doesn't know Loki is God Loki now. He doesn't know anything about this.
No, and actually, because that's not the Loki he knows. His brother Loki that he knows was murdered right in front of him. That's a variant Loki.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of interesting elements. There's a lot to do here, and I do think that bringing Steve back and having this go from there is also addressing a kind of a big deal that a lot of MCU fans have wanted addressed for some time now. Was like, he kind of broke the rules that we were told not to break. We were all kind of like, all right, well, Steve did a lot to earn this, but there still has to be consequences.
Yeah, and I think that if they are revisiting that, I think that's pretty awesome.
That is
And
I can't imagine any other way.
I will think like I will have so much respect for no matter how it ends up. I will have so much respect for the franchise if they decide to go take the stand that I'm sorry, Steve, you can't do this.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. I think Steve has to join the fight again.
I mean, that's taking away his happy ending while also not reintroducing him into the franchise permanently. If they do that, I will be sitting here going, I can't believe they did that.
That's what I'm
That's
thinking
fucking
is happening.
what a ballsy move.
That's what I think is happening, and I think I do think him, and I'm sure the explanation, because the Russo brothers have stood by and said, you will see there is a story reason why Robert Downey Jr., like Tony Stark, resembles Victor Von Doom and everything like that. So I will trust in them. Again, we both know that they have never missed in the MCU.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Russo brothers at the helm, if they missed, it should be their first one.
Yeah, and I just don't think so. Now, both of these trailers have gotten me super excited for the movie. Obviously, not that I needed a lot of push.
Right.
But both of them kind of gave me goosebumps every time I've watched it. Like, ooh, like you started getting that warm, fuzzy MCU feeling again.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
And I think there's something interesting because we saw Steve Rogers with a child, right, in that first one.
Yep.
So that's kind of a motif they're going for in these teasers, like the heroes and their children, which I think is interesting because that is why Tony in Endgame was so adamant about, I'll help you bring people back, but we're not changing the past, right? Because it was his daughter.
Yep.
So I think and that can't be an accident. So I think that's, if they're also doing something with that, I think that's kind of cool too.
Well, also let's not forget the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four: First Steps, when Doom shows up for Franklin Richards. So that's right. There's definitely something going on with the children here of these heroes. That Doom wants them for whatever reason.
You're right. You're right. So yeah, this could be really cool.
Yeah. And now though it's leaked. And it's everywhere. And again, we'll have a proper copy next week. But the way this has gone, it's going to be legit. The third trailer revolves around the X-Men. Like Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
Ian McKellen.
Oh. Wait, they're bringing them back?
Yep.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. James Marsden is Cyclops in it, and he has his X-Men 97 gear on.
That's pretty awesome. Okay. Oh, and I guess this is paying off when we see Kelsey Grammer's Beast, right? From the Marvels? Okay.
Yeah. I think this is all, and he's in it too. Kelsey Grammer has been confirmed for Avengers Doomsday, so is Rebecca Romijn. One person who has not been confirmed officially, and I can't see how he's not in it, is Hugh Jackman.
Oh, they're not going to tell us that until Hugh Jackman appears on screen.
Yeah, I don't see any way they bring all of them back without him.
Alan Cummings also going to be in that movie, right? They got him
also back as Nightcrawler. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm very excited about that. And not that the other stuff isn't exciting, but he was the perfect Nightcrawler, and we only got one movie with him.
Yeah. It's kind of in a way where it seems like the MCU is kind of giving us some of the things from that Fox X-Men era that we've never got. Like Cyclops seems like he's not going to be done dirty this time.
I'm excited to see what they do with the X-Men, to be honest. And to be honest, even if it sucks, I'm still going to like it because the X-Men is my favorite team of all time.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's got the X-Men. It's got Doctor Doom. I mean, we got Steve Rogers back. Like it's nuts.
Yeah. This is going to be. They're trying to give us something like Endgame level.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the bar is set for Avengers movies. I mean, you kind of have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you only got to imagine what the hell Secret Wars like. The bar is going to keep going.
God, and this is how it becomes unsustainable.
it's
Because
no, you're
people
right.
even now, right? That's why people are saying, "Oh my god, oh I gotta sit through a movie with only one superhero." Oh, what happened? Oh, the MCU sucks after Endgame. And it's like, oh, you can't always be Endgame. That's the thing. And I'm not saying they haven't had missteps, but
No, we're on the same page with that. We're not saying that we're not going to
yeah,
sit here and like be, when I was accused of being a Marvel shill at one point. Um,
so
it
long ago.
was so long ago. Um, but it's not that there hasn't been missteps, but I just think some of the missteps have been a little overblown, and
Yeah,
um, yeah, it's not as consistent as it once was. The shows also have been hit and miss too, but some don't want to acknowledge the hits, while and only acknowledge the misses, and that's also unfair as well.
absolutely.
So I don't know, man. I'm psyched. Next week we'll talk about the X-Men. We'll watch the X-Men trailer. I can't wait to see
All
your
right,
reaction for that because
I'm excited for that.
the only thing for me missing from that trailer is I might as well just cue the fucking music for X-Men '97 because that's what it looks like. That's all I needed. Um, it's wild. And then we're supposed to get a full Avengers Doomsday trailer for the Super Bowl. Like that's where this is
Okay,
supposed to all be kind of like leading up to. So yeah, and the fourth one is rumored to be revolving around Doctor Doom.
okay. I mean, I love that.
Yes, absolutely, man. Fun times, sure ahead, man. Because Marvel has such a loaded 2026. It's gonna be crazy.
Well, we got a busy schedule ahead of us, my friend.
Yeah, no, we sure do. All right, so let's shift gears then to Fallout Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2, which have dropped on Amazon Prime Video. Both available now. Episode 3 will be out actually tomorrow. Episode 3
Oh yeah,
drops.
yeah, you're
Um,
right.
so, Jason, your thoughts? I mean, I'm hyped. The show's back. I'm glad. I've been entertained. What do you think?
Oh, I'm all in.
Okay.
I'm all in. I was all in from the very first opening shot of the first episode of the dinosaur. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh huh.
That is from the game.
Okay.
And before they mentioned, and I'm sure you've heard this, they're talking about the new California Republic. They're talking about New Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are all from one of the games called New Vegas. And before I knew any of that, before they said any of that, just seeing that moment opening up like that.
Hey,
My
man.
son says hello. Just seeing the moment of them opening up with that dinosaur, I was like, we're in New Vegas now. So as a fan of the game,
Yeah.
I am adoring this. I'm curious what you're thinking as someone because I'm seeing things and I'm going, oh my god, it's the game. Oh my god, it's that part of the game. Oh, I know. Oh, that's going to be this person. Like I'm Charlie Day with the board behind me. So of course I'm loving it. But you're someone who is just watching it as a show. So what were your thoughts?
Uh, I think the whole thing is pretty wild. I mean, obviously, New Vegas. I don't know. I mean, all I know is what the show tells you. So, I mean, it seems pretty crazy. I'm sure there's going to be some insane things we're going to walk into in New Vegas. The devices that control people, that's pretty
That's
sick.
wild. Yep.
Yeah, that seems like that's going to definitely cause some major havoc, even though it already has some wild shit going on. I am also pretty interested in seeing the relationship with Lucy and Nagul continue because I know we're going to see a lot. Like their relationship has obviously kept going, and it's still pretty rocky at best. I would say, and even in the
At best.
the first scene we get with them together when they're pulling this thing, and she's supposed to be shooting the fucking rope, and she's
Yep.
dicking around, and he's like, "Listen, I need you to get me the fuck down from here. Let's go."
Just shoot the rope. He's like, well, hey guys, we were just gonna scam you, but and then kill you. But then I really prefer not to. But we need the money, so could you just let him down? And he's like, just fucking get the rope. It's such a good scene.
Yeah, and yeah, their relationship is in this like fucked up buddy cop situation
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's probably one of my favorite things on the show is those two. But the whole thing with the Knights and is more in episode 2, I think was also pretty damn interesting too. That they have some like civil war going on that's kind of brewing there.
yeah, I thought that was super cool. And then they mentioned the Commonwealth. So for people who follow the games, that's Fallout 4. The Commonwealth is Boston.
Okay.
And so that's my favorite of the Fallout games thus far. So it was good to see the Commonwealth represented. But yeah, so let's go through it. So we have a couple of. I figure we'll do it character by character and just go through their character arcs.
Okay.
Since we're doing 2 episodes, we'll start with Lucy and the Ghoul because I think that's the main one. That's the thing, the meat and potatoes. It starts off with them, as we said, scamming some bad people of their money and cats. I think it's an awesome scene where where they're having that back and forth, and then she actually shoots the ghoul down, and Walter Goggins does what he does best and mows people down, and they continue on their way, and they're arguing with each other. They eventually they're trying to track down her father, which is Kyle MacLachlan, who is chef's kiss perfect in this role, and it's shown even better in this season so far. But they pretty much follow him to a vault, and as a player of the game, I was so excited because my favorite part of the game when I play a new one is going through the vaults because that's where the craziest shit happens.
Oh, okay.
Because it's always like in this. It's like, okay, so your evil corporation has sponsored this vault, and you want to test what happens if you try to splice human genes with plants. And then we fast forward 200 years, and you're going down the vault, and there are these like plant-human hybrid monsters. It's crazy shit happens down there.
It's kind of like Gremlins too.
Yeah, it's dude. Perfect. So they go down. They find out that Kyle MacLachlan was in fact there, which is Lucy's dad, and he has these boxes or these chips which implant on people's skulls, or the base of their skull, and it allows people to control them. He took all this technology and set up one of them to just be like, "Hey, Lucy, hello, this is creepy." We get the flashback with one of the Vault Tech people who was inventing this stuff. When he has this really awesome, like, he picks a fight in a bar.
Yeah.
And the guy who is the owner of Robco, that's also a guy who I believe is the New Vegas antagonist in the game, which is who he's standing up for. And then he gets the guy outside, puts the thing on his back, and has him kill his friends and blows his head up.
That was a really fucked up scene, by the way. Like, really, really fucked up.
It was brutal. Please.
No, I was just saying, like, it was pretty hardcore. I mean, you kind of knew what was going to happen, especially there's a couple of scenes where heads are going to blow up when they kind of like do the pan away shot. And I believe that happens in that scene where we get an exploding head.
Yes.
And I'm trying to find what the hell's the actor's name that plays this character. That I'm sure probably who he is. Like you said, he's probably going to be the New Vegas antagonist. I can't get past this damn.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the actor's name is.
Here we go. So I'm limited on my computer a lot of times because I have an old Mac, and it just the security thing kind of like blocks almost everything from it.
All right, I'll see if I
Da-da-da.
can put it up my computer. Two old men trying to use computers tonight on Granny's.
I just need to give in already and cut the bullshit and just go ahead and just get the damn new computer and stop with this crap.
That's all right. As older people, we dig in on things that we don't quite understand. All right. Fallout Season 2 cast.
Oh, Justin Theroux.
There you go. There you go.
Playing Robert House.
Yep. Yes. And I'm fairly certain, like 98% sure, 90% sure that is literally the guy who is in charge of New Vegas. But I could be wrong. New Vegas, this is sacrilege. New Vegas is the only one I haven't beaten.
Oh wow. Okay.
Not because I haven't tried, just because something always comes up to stop me. Like I lost a save once. I had the game freeze because those Bethesda games glitch a lot, and it glitched, and I froze it, not realizing it glitched, and and I can't just immediately restart a game I'm almost finished with. But I've gotten to the end of the game. I just haven't done the last thing.
Okay.
So, I'm actually at this point now waiting. I'm waiting for them to re-release it or like remaster it, so for me to buy it again. But this is the one I haven't actually beat.
Okay, fair enough. But his character seems pretty fucking menacing, though. Like he seems to be the guy that even that Lucy's father is also doesn't want to fuck with, because I'm pretty sure he mentioned him a couple of times how he's like really the one who's a piece of shit.
Yes, and I'm curious if that's the one that Lucy's father was talking to when he's calling, saying, "I'm continuing our work. You'll be begging for my help."
Yes, that I 100% agree with you. That's what I think Hank's talking to.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, so yeah, let's get Lucy and the Ghouls. That brings us to the season, episode 2. They're arguing about and fill in anything I missed, because I watched that first episode like a little while ago, like right when it came out. So I might be missing stuff from the first episode. But they're arguing about the importance of empathy, and Lucy hears someone calling for help in this parking garage. I thought it was kind of awesome, because that's the kind of shit that you play in the game, where it's like, oh shit, something's happening. I'm going to this parking garage, and maybe exactly. And they're calling for help, and I'm, as a watcher, I'm going, this is a trap. This could be a trap. What are they doing? And because I know the tone of this game, the show and the game, and so when Lucy is like, no, when Goggins is like, empathy is like mud. You wade in, you lose your boots, something like that. That was a great line. But she goes in, and there are people there who are actually hurt, and he recognizes them. I recognize them. You have no idea who they are because you've never played the game.
I didn't know about anything until the Ghoul says, like, when he didn't like them, I'm like, all right, based on he's the more experienced guy, so that already tipped me off immediately to be like, all right, something's up with him. He's not just being a dick.
Nope. Bad shit's happening.
Well, yeah, when that one girl's like, she tells Lucy, like, I don't want you to get raped by the wrong people. I'm like,
yep. And you're okay for a profligate.
Yeah, I'm like, huh?
Yeah. We'll talk about them later, because I'm not going to spoil shit for you. I just want to get your sense of what you see as someone who doesn't know the games, because I actually know exactly what that is pointing to game wise.
I can only imagine there's some really fucked up people that she kind of inadvertently helped out here. and the Ghoul was actually right on this, and not just, like I said, being a douchebag.
Yeah.
She's
And
also like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bring her back to where she's supposed to be, and I'm gonna give you time to think about what you've done wrong, like wronging people." And I'm like, "Nah, Lucy, this is gonna come back to bite you."
this is not going to go well for you. Yeah. And I think this is an interesting moment of, because they're polar opposites, right? Like,
Mhm.
she's so optimistic and he's so pessimistic. And you have a great moment in this episode where she goes, like, where he says to her, "You want to know why you annoy me so much? It's because of the other thing you want to know, like, of how I was before the war. I was just like you. I was stupid."
Yeah,
And you do see some, like, before the war stuff where, it furthers the stuff with his wife, who is selling out completely to Voltec, and he
Mhm.
kind of tries to leave her but realizes it's not the way. He's got a spy on her, but he almost takes his daughter, and there's a lot of stuff going on there, and he's 100% sure they're still alive, or one of them is still alive, and that's who he's chasing down. um but yeah, but so we all right. So we get to the she saves them, and then we get these rad scorpions. They're called. What did you think of the rad scorpions, Ed?
uh they look menacing. They look
Fucking
absolutely
scary.
menacing. Yeah, no, they are. They look pretty fucking scary, honestly. I also kind of got I also, that kind of made me think too. Like, I do have to remind myself this is based on a game, because I try not to think about that, because I don't want to be like, oh, in my mind, oh, this is a part where something in the game must have happened, stuff like
Right.
that. But it did kind of pop up there, and yeah, they look pretty fucking menacing. They look like just nasty, nasty creatures you don't want to fuck with. And I'm sure they were probably a pain in the ass in the game.
Oh yeah, they are. And my favorite part of that whole scene is when the ghoul throws a bomb at it and
Yeah,
it explodes, and because that's exactly what you got to do to those motherfuckers in the game, because they will attack you like that. And they looked so good. It was so cool seeing them in real life, right?
yeah,
Like in live action. Um, but yeah, so the ghoul uh, fights off with Lucy the rat scorpions. He gets hit and poisoned. Um, when they walked in, there was one of those people. There were two people, a woman and a guy. He slits the guy's throat once he sees what they are.
yeah,
Though, and then he tries to eat the guy's flesh, which was weird, and notices that it's poison. That's how he knows the rat scorpions are there. And then after he gets hurt, Lucy has the choice to give him the stim pack or the woman. And she gives it to the woman, and he says that he repeats her words to her, and I know this will come back. The golden rule:
yeah,
do unto others as you do. I want them to do unto you, because she should have saved him.
yeah, yeah. No, she tries to justify saying he'll survive. That you will be fine. Like, you can sustain this, but she can't. And that's where I think this is going to be the huge misstep for Lucy, helping out the wrong people.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And then, like, you see Lucy at the end, like we mentioned the things with that the weird comments one makes, and then Lucy gets picked up at the end. We don't know what happens, right?
Yeah. And well,
So
and
that's it.
then yeah, for them.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying their dynamic is very interesting, because, like you had mentioned, um, that he keeps saying that I was you before,
Yeah,
and he keeps reminding her that eventually you're gonna be just like me. But once you get the life experience that I have, and you see how fucked up this world is, you're gonna become me. And she pushes back against that on every single turn that she gets, and that's why I think their dynamic is so interesting, because the push back and forth to see if she does truly sour on humanity and everything else the way he has.
yeah, agreed. And I think that's going to be interesting to see. I'm curious what they do with that, because I don't.
Yeah, and then the other thing was the knights, right? There was also Maximus and
Oh,
his whole thing.
yeah, right. So that's the character we want to go through next. Let's do
Oh yeah,
Maximus. So Maximus's thing was We see him. We know that he was found by the Brotherhood of Steel after being put in a refrigerator. We see why that happens in this one. We see his dad's a fucking great dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's purifying the water. He's like this inventor. He reminds me a lot of the Fastos from the Marvel movie. The why am I blanking on it?
Which one?
Fastos from the
Eternals?
Yes, the Eternals. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because he was like the guy who's like, family man in charge of making sure all the technology works.
Mhm.
We see someone walking in and we find out later they're going to chip on the back of their neck,
Mhm.
and they're walking in with this, I don't know, a card or something. And when the guy drops, they go to see what's wrong with him. They take the card off, and there's a fucking nuclear bomb. And the dad is like, "Get home, everyone, get out of here!" And he disables it, but it doesn't disable it. And they go back, and he puts his kid in the fridge, so you know that that's Maximus. And the last thing he says to his son is, "Just leave the world a better place than you found it."
Yeah.
And the last thing he says to his wife, this is heartbreaking, is, "We raised him. We did what we."
Yeah, no, that was a pretty sad scene that we got there.
Yeah. And
no, go to.
And then you then get the flip side of that with Hank, and I guess I think Hank will be the one we do next. You see Hank with his Pip-Boy, like playing around with something, and you hear Lucy as a child in the background, and he's the one who did it, because we find out he's the one who blew up the New California Republic and left it a wasteland. And so literally he is the reason that Maximus has lost his parents.
Yeah, and I would only imagine that's going to come back around, for them to have to deal with that stuff, and he's going to lose his shit when he finds out like that he was behind it, and Lucy will be involved in it because she's been name dropped of someone that he has feelings for and stuff like that at this point too. So you see all the web being weaved for all of this shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he is working as the right-hand man of Quintus, who is attempting a coup on the Brotherhood of Steel. He's still talking about the different factions have, the fact they all have equal power makes them kind of like gangs. We need, now that he's used Maximus to get his this coolant thing that will allow him to make more bombs, right? And which goes along with what it says: war never changes.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings 3 of the 4 factions together to have this conversation, and shows them these bombs, and they all hate each other at first, and then they're all arguing, and then he shows them these bombs, and they're like, "Oh, okay, wow, how many of these can you make?" And then at the end, as I said, the Commonwealth come in, and you see a lot of Maximus, like taking grenades away from people.
Yeah,
which is going to come. That's got to come in.
He's loading
at some
up.
point. Yeah, like people keep playing with grenades, and I think he's playing an end game here. I don't think he's really bought into this.
No, I don't think he has. I do think he is still living up to like the whole Maximus thing, right? Because when we've seen him, we catch up with him. He is, doing whatever he's got to do for the Brotherhood, and he is Maximus. Like people look at him as a hero and all this other stuff like that. Like he's kind of taken up that mantle that's gone there, except for that one person that knows. Like he's kind of she knows everything about him. She knows what happened. She knows how he kind of like took the shortcut and went from Squire to to Maximus here. So I'm curious to know like when that bag is going to be unleashed as well, and like he's going to be found out. And I think that's weighing on him also.
Oh, for sure. And I think you see that when he fights the guy who like the fucking brolic guy, the swole
Yes.
guy, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
When he is fighting him, you see him not wanting to do that, not thinking he can do it, but he gets the better of the guy. Like I think he's kind of starting to prove even to himself that, yeah, maybe he does deserve this because he fucking murders that guy straight up
No, he
with
does.
his own
And
knife.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think that his whole spiel will come back to bite him in the ass eventually. But I'm curious to know like how when that comes out, where he's at that point. Like if some people are kind of like, all right, whatever, he's already earned it, so it's not really that big a deal. I don't know. I don't know
I don't
where
know.
that one's going to play out.
And that's the beauty of the show is I don't know where any of this is going. And I play the games. I still don't know where this is going. So, but did we miss anything on his? That's pretty much his arc, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do Hank, who is my favorite character only because it's Kyle MacLachlan. I love Kyle MacLachlan so much. He was Agent Cooper in Twin Peaks, and I think I don't think anyone else could play this role. Like, I know it's a smaller role, and clearly they have made it bigger in this season, which I'm loving. But he is so good at playing authentically good looking, not like physically, but like person wise, and being evil.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
I can see that.
And that's the perfect thing about the Vault Dwellers and like the directors. Like, they all have this 1950s perfect iron look, but behind them is this David Lynchian fucking evil. And so, who better than to cast than Kyle MacLachlan, who did that for David Lynch multiple times?
Yeah. He
Because
is the perfect casting.
the shit the things he does in this, like in the second episode specifically, where he just keeps testing the rats.
Yeah, just completely turning them into sauce constantly.
And he just like goes, "Oh, that's a shame," or "Back to the drawing board." But there's no irony in it. He's not taking pleasure in it, nor does he care. And this gosh golly gee reaction every time it happens, even when it happens to the man at the end, that he's unfrozen. There's no irony in that gosh golly gee reaction. It's literally just like, well, back to the old drawing board of evil.
Yeah, we'll figure this out one sooner or later. Just keep going at it.
I don't think anyone else could have been as good at this, and I'm so happy that he has more to do this season already, because he's wheeling and dealing. Like, we see him make that phone call to who we both think is the guy in charge of Robco, because this is also the Robco initiative, right? So, and clearly that is what he's trying to do, and he's made it clear, like, his idea of Reclamation Day is to kill everyone else on the surface and reclaim it for the Vault Dwellers.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing.
Ooh. That's, yeah. I don't know. That whole thing. Yeah. Again, I don't know much about I don't know obviously anything about the New Vegas stuff and how he's going to just go ahead and beat up with this guy. And again, he's already talked about how bad Justin Theroux's character is.
Yes.
So he's a piece of shit in his own right.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it is, and I think when eventually the ghoul finds his wife, it's going to be because she is, interred among these awful pieces of shit who caused all of this.
Yes. I 100% agree with you. That's how that's going to play out. Then he'll have his own moral dilemma, like what is he going to do with it and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then I guess it's the final arc real quick because it is worth mentioning because it sets up some stuff that's going to be interesting later. But Lucy's brother, who was stuck in the Vault 31 where Bud's were all in cryo freeze, realizes he doesn't have to be trapped there. because his captor is a fucking robot brain on wheels
Yeah.
and destroys it and wakes everyone up and does such a brilliant thing by going, all right, guys, so really this is just a way for them to test us on our teamwork. And he uses their psychology against them and convinces them he is their leader and has them figure out how they all can escape from the vault. And that's really all I want to say about it because there's nothing super crazy there, except how brilliant I think the plan was. But that's absolutely got to be going somewhere.
No, it's 100% going somewhere with that. I
Yeah.
don't really know where.
Not sure either.
Yeah, quite just yet. But that was pretty clever of him to try to like hash that whole thing. Get himself out of there.
So yeah. So anything else I missed? Because I clearly I love these episodes.
No, I think it's been great. I'm all in on it. I actually can't wait to see episode 3. I'll probably watch it, tomorrow afternoon at some point. I'm pretty excited to see where this goes. I mean, this has been a pretty fun show to watch. From the perspective of someone who is just watching it as a show, I think the show works on like every level. Like Jonathan Nolan seemed like doing a great job with this thing.
And I will say this: I'm going to throw out a possible thing that can happen. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping by the end of New Vegas, or this season, we see a gang of people who dress like Elvis at different parts of his career, because that is 100% a gang in the fucking game Fallout New Vegas, and I really hope that they bring that to the screen.
I would be shocked if they didn't. That's too rich to let go. It just is. And by the way, this show has already been greenlit for season 3 already. Upon when season 2 premiered.
It has to be. It's so good. There's so much to do, and this. Again, we're 2 episodes in, and I'm thinking, oh, it's already found its feet. It already knows what it is. I don't even have to get through the growing pains anymore.
No, this show's been pretty kick-ass since day 1. So, all right. So we'll see where it takes us next week with episode 3, which, like I said, will be dropping tomorrow on Amazon Prime Video. All right, and then I guess that brings us to our movie of the week. So for those of you who have checked this out over the summer, we covered Alien Earth. When that ride happened throughout the summer with us, we said we were going to get into the Alien movies. We dropped into Predator because Badlands came out, and now we're going to come around and start this franchise as well. So we are talking about the OG, Ridley Scott, 1979. Jason, this movie is as old as we are. Yes.
Oh shit, you're right. You're right.
It is the good old 1979.
1979. Technically still Gen X, but are we really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
I barely made 79 because I was in December, so I barely made it in there. Yeah, this is starring obviously Sigourney Weaver here. It's wild to look back that this was the OG that kind of got the whole thing started.
Absolutely. And I think for me, the biggest surprise that I almost always get, and I love this movie. I've seen this movie 100 times. I think Aliens is a phenomenal movie. I just like this genre of movie more. So that's why I prefer this one. Right?
Yeah, so
go ahead. Yeah, so watching it and the fact that nothing is exceptional about Sigourney Weaver's Ripley, except the fact that she's the smartest person on the ship because she's always right. But that's usually not something that is the quality of a hero that we look for. Mm-hmm. Usually the quality of the hero is what Tom Skerritt's trying to do. I'm looking after my people. Fuck you, open this door.
Yeah.
But like nothing really makes Ripley stand out up until the end when it's clear she is like the kick-assiest of all kick-asses. But like you forget that, like, because you watch Alien 2, it starts where Ripley is large and in charge, and then 3 is the same. But I almost always forget going back to this one that Ripley's not really special until close to the end of the movie.
Yeah, and I told this to Angie because I rewatched the director's cut version of this um, before we went on, and we were texting earlier about it. I told Angie again, I'm like, see, throughout this franchise, nobody listens to fucking Ripley. Nobody
No,
listens to
true.
fucking Ripley. If somebody just listened to Ripley, it would be one of those, the meme where it's like, hey, Ripley speaks, they listen. Directed by Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Movie's over.
That's it. Look, there are two things that would have made this movie 10 minutes. One, if anyone listened to Ripley, because you're right. It's like, hey, we got this distress thing. What should we do? We should leave. Now we got to stop. All right, you're the captain, I guess. Hey, you're trying to bring that clearly infected crewmate back on. I'm sorry, there are actual regulations about this. You know?
But Jason, no. Let's take it a step further now, right? So they get this distress signal when they're on their way back to Earth after they get woken up, and that happens like in the beginning of almost all these movies where we get the crew and they wake up and yada yada. So they tell her, she's like, no, we should keep going. Let's go back, right? And they're like, no, it's written in your contracts and stuff, like the rules and the regulations say if we get a distress signal, and obviously Ash is the one pushing this bullshit, and we know his deal.
That's
right?
why he's there, yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's there. So they follow company policy to go answer the distress signal. They go to the planet. Right? Then we see that, by the way, and again, we're talking about looking back on it. Then we see the ship from Prometheus, which, by the way, that whole thing, because I did want to talk about this too, because we were talking about this offline about the whole Gremlins thing, about films that are maybe not directed to be franchises or not intended to be, and yada yada. This movie has a lot of unanswered questions that were ripe for the picking to turn it into a franchise. Maybe not necessarily immediately the way that it happened.
Yeah.
But the Prometheus stuff was kind of like laid, the groundwork was laid like immediately.
I'll be honest with you, I wasn't mad that Prometheus existed. I was mad that I didn't think it was good. Because I think you're right. I think this does open up a lot of doors of questions. But what I think is really interesting about this movie is Ridley Scott is not opening up these doors as avenues for future movies. He just doesn't give a shit about the answers. And I was thinking a lot. No, but I was thinking a lot about The Shining, because you and I saw The Shining in the theater.
Yeah.
And we had that discussion. And I told you that, like, what I realized about that movie was Stanley Kubrick really is more about the art and the visual and doesn't really give a shit about the story, right? He's kind of like David Lynch in that way. And then I'm watching this, because I watched this shortly after we saw The Shining. I was like, shit, clearly Ridley Scott was influenced by Kubrick, but he gives more of a shit about the story. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but still not like enough to answer all the questions. He's just like, look, I'm telling a story of people come, aliens infect, people fight, people die, people leave. That's the story you're getting from me. Anything else, I don't give a shit. You know, and so I think that does matter, because yes, all of these holes were open and ripe for the picking. But when he was making this movie in '79, that wasn't even a thought. I think. Like, I think he was just, this is the story I'm interested in. Fuck everything else.
Well, I mean, and I do think that there. I mean, maybe I'm kind of curious when we do Prometheus. I am going to probably try to do some digging on that and find out more about, like, at least what Ridley Scott says his idea was, like, at the time.
Right.
But I also don't mind, like, he had to keep the singular focus on the Xenomorph story being told here, and that's that. You know, like, this movie is not, it's not complex. It's a pretty straightforward, like, sci-fi, and the thing is, sci-fi horror. Like you had mentioned. That's one thing that's very important to mention is that Alien, this franchise starts off as a sci-fi horror. 100% this is sci-fi horror. The way it plays out, the way the story goes, the way it's shot, how often the way we see the xenomorph. Because for a lot of this movie, the xenomorph's in the dark, and you just see the mouth a lot and the whole thing like that. We don't see the full body until a little bit at the end, and that's it. Not a ton at all. Really.
No, and I've seen this movie. I didn't make this up, but I've read this. But people describe this movie as a haunted house movie, and I agree with that. It's like because the xenomorph's the ghost, you get a taste, a taste, a taste, and a bigger taste, and something scarier. And then at the end, it's literally like there's that shot at the end where Ripley thinks that she is safe, and the ship is destroyed, and she puts a light on, and this fucking thing is just like in the dark, and you just see it looking at her. Like, I definitely see the ghost story like parallels because that's the thing. Aliens makes this a horror franchise, an action franchise, and I think that works. I think that's what makes it a franchise. But this is, as you said, a horror movie. It is not an action movie.
Yeah, this is definitely sci-fi horror, and as we go along through this franchise, it's going to be very interesting to see how from film to film how it goes kind of back and forth. Because Aliens completely turns this into sci-fi action. It goes away from sci-fi. I guess some elements of horror in it, but not like this is suspense sci-fi horror like at its finest. Like that's truly what's going on here, and it's executed beautifully by Ridley Scott here with that. The tension builds. But like we were saying earlier, is if they listen to company policy to go answer the distress signal, but then they choose to ignore it when one of their own is infected with the facehugger, for the first time. And Tom Skerritt's kind of like, Dallas is doing the right thing. He's like, hey, listen, I got to take care of my people. But then Ripley was like, well, there's a quarantine and yada, yada. Like, we kind of got to go through this. And he pushes back and pulls rank. And Ash, of course, who's conversing with Mother and now knows what Weyland-Yutani wants, obviously, and that whole thing, that must have been some shit the first time this movie, when this movie came out. When you find out that Ash is a synth, because there's no mention of him being a synth at all until the big reveal. Like the ending has all these crazy reveals, like one after the other.
Yeah. There's no fucking. I don't think there's a mention of synth. I think you might see it on the roster if you're looking at the visual roster that Ripley looks at. But like no one says it. You're right, and you like it's you're right. It's weird watching it now because I don't ever remember a time not knowing he was the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the disadvantage of us seeing this later because by the time I saw this movie, Aliens was out already and stuff.
Of course.
Yeah.
But like imagine not knowing that he was the bad guy, that he was a synth, that he was the one, like, because he does play it off. Like, I mean, it's clear, of course, when we watch it, when Dallas is like, open up, and he hits it. And then he tells Ripley later, well, Dallas outranks you. And Ripley's like, not when he's off the ship. And it's a slip of mind. Of course, to us, it reads like clearly he's the villain. But imagine not knowing. Because he is playing that actor. I forget his name right now, but he's a famous English actor from Brazil. Ethan Holm, I think his name is. Lot of fucking great British actors here.
Yeah, Ian Holm.
Ian Holm, that's it. Ian Holm's playing it where he could be telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And also let's not forget too, as Parker, we also get our beloved Yaphet Kotto.
Yeah, that Kotto is so good. Him, those two, him and his partner,
Brett.
Yeah, what's his name?
Harry Dean Stanton.
Harry Dean Stanton. I can't believe I blanked on his name. I love both those actors. They're two of my favorite characters, and their other characters who are never listened to are always right, and they made me realize the second thing that would have ended this movie in 5 minutes, and that is proper union representation. Because clearly these two are like, you guys don't pay me enough to go and look at fucking deadly alien shit. I'm here to fix your engines. What the fuck are you talking about? And then you get home going, well, did you look at the rider on Section A? There was a man in a union. That shit wouldn't have happened with collective bargaining. If collective bargaining existed in the alien universe, Yaphet Kotto would have been the shop fucking steward of the ship, okay? Of the Nostromo. And he would have been like, no, I'm sorry, Ethan Home, you cis motherfucker. Let me tell you what our contract says. And that would have been the end of the movie. They'd have been going back home. Wayland Yutani wouldn't have had shit except for a possible lawsuit on their hands for breaking the union rules.
And from what we know of Wayland Yutani, I'm sure they have so many lawsuits against them for like breaking union laws.
I'm sure they that's the thing. There are no unions. I think like this movie, and I've realized this on this watch. This is a like dystopian this is a dystopian future where corporate dystopia, where corporations rule the world, and I think that's kind of what was being furthered in Alien
Earth,
the show we were watching, or Alien Earth,
which takes place before this.
Which it does, absolutely, and we talked about that, but I didn't realize how prevalent that was here, because it's never stated, but clearly these workers are being coerced to do shit that is above their pay grade, because if they don't, they lose they don't get paid.
Yeah, they lose their shares.
And so this and It's a Wonderful Life, I'm going to put up there as two of the best anti-capitalist movies. Put them both in your Christmas movie watch this year. Wow, you sit around here and you spin your little eggs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your aliens. Well, it doesn't, you mother.
Dude, we've spent a lot of time with our friend Yaphet Kotto, man. Like, Freddy's Dead.
Yes, Freddy's Dead. We also, for Double O Deep Dive, I don't know if you were on this one, but
Live and Let Die, right?
Live and Let Die. Yeah, he's one of the fucking best villains.
Yeah. Also pops up in The Running Man, which we saw the reboot. The reboot recently.
That's right. And having nothing to do with the show, but something I will eventually watch, as I saw it on Tubi. He was the captain in Homicide: Life on the Streets, which is where I know Andre Braugher from.
Oh wow! Okay, nice. Yeah, I don't know. He had like this illustrious career. I mean, he was all over the place with this, but it was fun seeing him back in action in this. And
he's great in this.
Yeah, no, he is. Tom Skerritt also in this.
Yep.
As Dallas.
And I want to say that Yaphet Kotto, a black man who dies, I think, last or second to last.
He is
like he's one of the finals.
Yeah, he's second to last because him and Lambert are the last two that get killed together.
Yeah. So progressive stuff, and then Ripley being a woman who is the smartest and most capable person on the Nostromo, I think, hands down.
Oh, without question. Without question. Oh, damn. You know, I meant to open the show with the line from Avengers Infinity War. Like Peter Parker's like, hey, you guys seen that old movie Alien? You know,
that's
when
right.
When they knock him out into space or whatever.
Oh, that's awesome. I forgot about that.
Yes, Peter, we've seen that old movie Alien.
That old movie. Fuck you, Peter Parker. No, but I think this is such a perfect movie. I think visually it's beautiful. This is 1979. This is all practical effects. None of this is CGI. And looking it through my 2025 eyes, this movie holds up. This movie looks better than a lot of CGI shit I saw.
So I wanted to get into that with you because we both own the same box set.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you watched the 1979 theatrical cut.
I did. It was the remastered version, but it
Oh,
was
okay,
a
okay.
theatrical cut. And the reason I watched it over the director's cut was because Ridley Scott has said that he prefers the theatrical cut.
Okay, because I know, and now, off the top of my head, like I don't remember some of the differences because even there's an interlude with Ridley Scott who says he didn't change too much with the director's cut. It was
Right.
just, I think the movie kind of like has a little bit of a faster pace to it.
Okay.
I felt like that was the case because, like I mentioned earlier, I actually started rewatching this when we were originally supposed to do this episode before, when I first got sick, and I was watching it on Hulu, who only has the theatrical cut, and it's also not remastered either. It's just whatever version, whatever clarity it is. Now I have the Blu-ray version. I just kept thinking to myself, this looks like a 100 times cleaner version of the film that I was watching. But I also was like a half an hour into it before I stopped watching. And now rewatching the theatrical cut, the director's cut, I just kind of felt like because I think you'll agree, the beginning of this movie, it does take a minute to kind of get going.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but
no,
yeah.
I'm not saying like it's obnoxious. This movie is awesome. This is a classic and everything like that. But I do think that the director's cut feels like it kind of gets things just kind of get going a little bit quicker.
Okay, that's fair.
That was
I have to rewatch the director's cut.
Yeah, that was the standout thing that kind of happened with me. I was going to see if there was a quick pull-up thing. Alien.
And while you look that up, we talked about Yaphet Kotto. But we did not talk about John Hurt, who we've also covered in the show before. John Hurt in this is the guy who gets the xenomorph through the chest.
Yes.
Who
reprises his role in Spaceballs.
Yes, you beat me to it. But he was famously the character of Winston in the movie 1984, and that matters to us because when we did V for Vendetta, he was the head of the the government.
Yes, correct.
So we have seen John Hurt on the show as well as Yaphet Kotto.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't see anything that's like Alien Director's Cut versus theatrical cut. I'm trying to see if there's just a quick synopsis. All right. It adds about 6 minutes of footage for pacing, which I had mentioned, and context. All right. Including the iconic egg morphing scene where Dallas transforms, giving more development, but potentially slowing the original's tight suspense, while the theatrical cut is famously lean and focused on building Jaws and space terror, while both versions offering unique viewing. Sorry, so the theatrical, this is crazy that I don't even remember this because I feel like the last couple of times I've watched this movie, I've always watched the director's cut now.
Oh, okay.
And so they don't show Dallas being kind of like, being like he's like being held captive. Really? So that's okay. So that's interesting though.
Yeah, I
forgot that wasn't in it.
That's the director's cut because to be honest with you, I know what the difference was. I forgot it was Dallas, and you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they don't show anyone being held in the eggs, and I think when I looked it up, that was the biggest difference because it adds it goes back to what we were talking about in Predator. It's removing it makes Alien maybe a better movie as a standalone. Keeping it in gives you more to work with the lore.
Yeah, because you see Dallas tied up. I mean, basically like gooed up and everything, and he tells Ripley, "Kill me," because he's just in so much pain. And she takes a flamethrower to the whole thing, and we find out that like basically the crew has been also all taken by eggs and stuff, and they're pretty much going to start, this alien is going to start hatching fucking facehuggers into them and shit like that. And that's basically the scene that's there. Holy shit! I completely did not remember that was not in the original cut of this.
Yeah, and you know what's really interesting is as you're saying that sounds much more in line with what happens in Alien 2, right, or Aliens, because the Aliens is all about the breeding of these things,
Yeah.
and that was hinted at in these deleted scenes. So, again, I can't even say it's a better movie because I haven't seen the director's cut in a long time. But it seems like one of those things. Like, regardless of which cut you're watching, it's good, right? Like,
Yeah.
one might be a tighter movie, the other gives you much more into the lore of the future.
Yeah. So it's it's a 6 minute thing, whichever version you choose to go with. If you're going to rewatch it, apparently, you'll be in good hands no matter what. I thought it was a pretty cool scene though.
Yeah, I remember seeing it a while ago. It is pretty cool, and more Tom Skerritt's always good.
Yeah, love Tom Skerritt.
You know what's crazy though? I'm watching this, and let me see because we have the same age. See if you can guess this. Do you know what image of Tom Skerritt that pops in my head when I think of him?
Top Gun.
No, unfortunately not.
That's where my mind goes.
Okay, I go Picket Fences, which is a fucking show I never watched. So I always think old Tom Skerritt, even though it's not the first thing I saw him in. I saw him in this. I saw him in Poltergeist 3.
Yes. The infamous.
I didn't see Top Gun until I was in my 20s, so I can't actually say I saw that first. But that is what I think of. I think of him in a fucking sheriff's outfit with gray hair and standing next to Five Spangle because he's also in that show.
I'm going through. I have to pull up his IMDb here. Yeah, I'm gonna. The first movie I think of is Top Gun when I think of Tom Skerritt, to be honest, and then I would say probably Aliens. I didn't know he did. He voiced Dallas in Alien Isolation, which is a video game.
Oh yeah, which I've started playing. I didn't realize he's in that.
I've heard that's pretty fucking good.
It's your Ripley's daughter. Like I just started it. I was going to talk about it more when I got further into it, but your Ripley's daughter. It seems to take place shortly after, not shortly, but like she's an adult in her 20s, maybe 10, 15 years after the events of Alien, but way before Aliens.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's pretty, and as far as I've gotten, you get stuck you get to a space station because you're looking for information about, like, you've heard that your mother's distress signal has been found. And you're working with the corporation to find it, and you get on the space station, and bad shit's gone down, and clearly there are xenomorphs around.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard some pretty wild shit about that game. Wow, he's had some sort of fucking career going on here. Yeah, Poltergeist 3, of course. Again, the infamous.
And I gotta say that I actually did see Tom Skerritt in real life. I didn't meet him.
Did you really?
But I did. I went to, this was like right before, literally like months before the pandemic, because it was months before my son was born. Over in the hotel they got in Queens, like where they do the gambling and the shit and such now.
Okay.
They hold conventions, and so they did something called WinterCon, and they had a bunch of actors from one of my favorite shows of all time, Farscape, at this thing, and I happened to notice it. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go. I gotta get pictures of these fucking people I loved 20 years ago, and so I went and had a really great time. But Tom Skerritt was there, and I remember seeing him and looking and going, oh shit, brother, I'm sorry. I thought this to myself. I'm sorry that you are this old and still have to do this. Because he looked tired. I'm not bad mouthing him. He looked tired.
I'm sure.
And like, Tom Skerritt deserves better. So that's what I'm saying.
Listen, Maverick drove him up the fucking wall, man. He told him not to buzz the tower. How many fucking times? He just doesn't listen.
That's true.
But no, this movie's fucking. It's highly recommended. I mean, especially like us, if you're just interested in the franchise, or you've watched Alien Earth or Romulus, and they're kind of just a newcomer into it, you gotta get into the original.
I put this in my top 10 movies of all time. I love
Really,
this movie.
overall.
I think so. I mean, I'm just throwing that off there now. I haven't sat down and ranked them, but
Yeah.
that feels right to me. I just think it's such a beautiful looking movie. It's such a tense movie. Um, it's a character driven movie. You know, we talked about Predator and what made it work so well, and it was the characters. Even if they were shallow-esque characters, they felt real, right?
Yeah.
And I felt the same way here. You have real characters, and it sucks when they get picked off. You feel when Harry Dean Stanton, who's this lovable idiot, gets killed. It's like, oh man, that sucked. I liked him, you know, and that was kind of my reaction. So I think like, this works on so many levels. I think the acting, the writing, the cinematography. I think I could not. I can't give this movie a day. I think this is one of the very few perfect movies I would posit, or movies I would posit is perfect.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna think this movie at all for like anything, even upon rewatches. And I've seen this movie a bunch of times too. At this point, the last time I rewatched it was before Alien Romulus came out in the theater, because Alien Romulus takes place between Alien and Aliens. That's the time frame it's put in. So I thought it'd be cool. Like I rewatched Alien and Aliens with Angie, and then noticed we stopped right there. There's enough for that because we saw Prometheus and Alien Covenant in the theater together. But I was like, we could avoid what comes next.
So has she been living in a world where she has never seen Alien 3?
I don't think she has.
And you can't ruin this for her. Like when you watch that movie, because you will have to for this show, don't make her watch it with you. Don't make her watch it with you.
I will try.
Let her survive this.
She's heard me. Put it this way, so she knows that when Romulus came out, I stumbled upon Alien 3, and it was the beginning.
Okay.
And I showed her. I'm like, look, you just saw Aliens. Fucking Newt is dead off camera. Hudson is killed off camera. Hicks.
Yeah. Alien 3 makes the second worst transgression you could make for me. The first is being boring. The second worst is having the ability to have been good and still sucking.
Alien, whatever. I'm not.
We'll get to it.
I'm trying so hard because I am so excited. Like I was very excited for this one. We're getting Aliens.
Next
episode.
Which I would say
one of my favorites.
I would put that up there if we are not going by my rule of trilogies for this movie, because I do think it does exclude Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back is not a complete movie in and of itself. It doesn't work if you end the series there. But I agree with you that Aliens is not necessarily a trilogy thing. So
it's not, because Alien 3 basically tries to ignore it.
You're right. So I'm going to say that it is absolutely in the running for best sequel of all time, and I think it actually makes James Cameron the best maker of sequels of all time.
He is. I don't listen. How I have my gripes with James Cameron over the past decade or so, but make no mistake about it. For him, he makes Aliens is my favorite movie of this franchise. So
I can see that.
Again, and I'm
great
not
movie.
Yeah, I don't knock this movie at all, but Alien is your favorite. Aliens is my favorite, and we're gonna get into that one next week. It is definitely in the conversation also for best sequel ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Right, along with Terminator 2. Like I know that's where you're going. Like Terminator 2 and Aliens are two of the best sequels.
And Gremlin 2, the new batch.
You want to go The Dark Knight also in there. I think when we're getting movies together like Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Aliens, and The Dark Knight, Gremlins
I
for the new
actually
batch.
I have to say that The Dark Knight was conceptualized as a trilogy, so we can't allow it.
No, you can't. I'm not gonna. I don't. You can't take it out of it when they just made Batman Begins, which obviously there was a sequel intended for, and
There
then they
was.
did. But The Dark Knight doesn't even like. I don't think there was like. Of course, every movie, everything could be made into a sequel, but I'll give you. I'll even take back The Empire Strikes Back because again, Lucas supposedly wrote that together
Oh,
as
well, I had
one.
written it all. You understand? I had originally thought that it was about a trade dispute. I just didn't have the funds to make the movie about the trade dispute
Yeah,
first.
exactly. So and again, I'm going to strike that from there. But The Dark Knight, Aliens, Terminator 2, 100% in the conversations for the best sequel ever made.
Gremlins 2 is a new batch. Although I will say this, Dark Knight, I wouldn't even. That is it. Like if we're talking movies, that is the best movie that has been a sequel.
I mean, I think some would, I might be. I got to think about it more. T2 Judgment Day.
I,
I mean,
and you know how much I love T2 Judge. Like honestly, if you put a gun in my hand and ask me what the best sequel of all time was, all kidding aside, I would say T2 Judgment Day. 100%. I think it's the best sequel ever made. I think The Dark Knight's a better movie.
I'm not going to get into like I don't know. I'm not going to debate you on that because I'm really not.
I
Going
mean,
to.
it's no,
It's
there's no reason to debate.
but these are all. But I also
Yeah,
think like best sequel ever. There needs to be criteria. Is one of the criteria that you have to be better than the original?
I agree.
All right.
I
So if
agree.
that's the case, if that is the case, see that's where me
But
and you were going to disagree on Aliens
you
because I
also
think
know
I
that.
like Aliens more than Alien. You like it the other way around.
Oh, but I think all right. I would say equal or better.
Okay, fine. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, I because I think saying better is a bit unfair because it puts the one at a disadvantage. I think you don't have two without one, right? So I think it has to at least be equal or different. And I think Alien Two is both Aliens rather is both equal and different because I prefer Alien. I think Alien's a fucking phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I think it's every bit as good as this movie. It's just so different that it's hard to compare them. And I think that's also part of what makes it a great sequel.
Yeah. Because it wasn't trying to just rehash the original. Like they
No,
took the concept and completely took it like in a different direction.
right? And this is why I think James Cameron is like does a phenomenal job with sequels. And again, I'm going back to T2 because I should just say that's my favorite sequel of all time.
Yeah.
Like he was at this time really good at looking at blockbusters and going, okay, how can I make this? How can I elevate this? I don't want to say make it better. How can I elevate this? So T2, he elevates from Terminator by going, you know what? This was a really awesome action movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger was a killer robot. What if
Let's
we made
flip it.
him the hero?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And Alien, he looked at that and went, all right, so what do I really like about this movie? That fucking alien. What do I want to see more of? That fucking alien.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. And his instinct's not wrong.
No, it's not. It's not because you got to take the stakes up, and the stakes of
That's it.
taking the stakes up from Alien to Aliens is what if you were on
Yep.
a fucking ship, or especially that scene. And I don't want to go into it because I want to save something for next week. But even when they have the tracking scene, and you see the
Oh,
flipping
yeah.
one, and also you see a whole bunch of them, you're like, I remember the first time seeing it, I'm like, holy shit. Game over, man.
Yeah.
Game over.
Nope.
What are we gonna we're fucked, man.
It's fucking, it's great. It's absolutely great. And actually, you know what I think we should do? I'm going to send you a Simpsons clip that I want you to watch that we have to talk about in conjunction with that scene. which we don't do enough, but we've done it before.
Yeah.
But I will say this, like going back to Alien versus Aliens, and I think this is really important is I keep making the mistake of saying Alien 2 because of Alien 3, but it's not, right? Alien is a movie about one alien who picks off an entire crew,
Mhm.
except for Ripley, and doesn't even like get killed, gets shot in the fucking space. And I believe is what you're encountering when you're playing isolation.
Yeah.
Uh, Aliens is literally they're not Alien 2. It's like no, the escalation is you had an alien, you had one, we're giving you many. And I just even the subtlety of the naming convention, I think is really interesting. And shows how these movies are intentionally different.
By the way, I also want to before we close this, I want to mention something that I have in my notes about Ash. By the way,
Okay?
when Ash is revealed to be a synth, and his head is brought back, and he's laid on the table, and he's got all the white synth blood all over him. That last line he says to them is so fucked up. It is,
Oh
and
yeah, well,
also that fucking nasty
uh,
fucking grin he has on after, and
yeah,
he
he's
says,
so good.
"I can't lie to you about your chances. You have my sympathies."
Oh yeah, oh
This is
wow,
what he's
you're
doing
right.
to them. Fuck you guys. You are
What
done. You don't stand a chance against what
a
he
good line.
calls his words, the perfect organism.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. What a great line. I can't lie to you, but your chances, but you have my sympathy. That's so good.
It is such an asshole fucking parting
Oh
shot before
yeah.
he's set on fire.
And actually, what I forgot, but Yaphet Kotto is the reason that he does not kill Ripley, right? Because he comes in and renders him unconscious or like cuts his head
Yeah.
off or whatever.
Yeah, no, he takes him out.
Yeah, which I love that. Oh man, that's so good. Ian Holm is so good in that movie.
He really is. He really is awesome in this thing. Um, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I can't wait to keep going with this. 'Cause
I'm
this,
I'm also excited.
even though I know in 2 weeks where this is headed, um, we'll see. I got next week though. I got next week to go before we get
And
there.
and then I'm going to tell you this: no matter how bad it gets, none of these movies are as bad as Transformers 2 and on.
Silver lining.
No matter how bad these movies get, none of them are going to be as bad as the Predator.
Well, Alien proper. Okay.
I'm not talking AVP. AVP is that's a fucking different hybrid. All right, that's another battle we got to fight. That's another 2 weeks we to get through. We'll get to that when we get there.
By the way, they tried to get cute with that. By the way, that pissed me off even more. Remember, the first one was called Alien versus Predator. The second one is called Aliens versus Predator.
God.
They're like, we're gonna give you what you want again.
You know what's depressing is I realized just recently in looking in my DVD collection because I still own physical media, and I will. It's a hill this old man will die on. I own AVP, which I knew I did.
I have the DVD.
The DVD, yeah. But I also own Aliens versus Predator on the same thing,
Oh my god.
and I've never seen it. I literally bought them for like $5 and watched that first one and went, yeah, I'm good. That was worth the $5.
Jason, I saw the second one in the theater. It was one of those times where I left so angry. I always compare that when I went to see Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, which will be coming.
Yes, we got some pretty. We got in the first half of the year. We've got some pretty low points to hit. I will say, with some high points, but some pretty low points too. My God, yeah, that's how, dude. That's how. Oh, forget it. I'll say, but that movie, Aliens versus Predator, Requiem. I have not watched in full since the theater.
Oh
It is
God,
so awful.
it's really sad that that's what we're going to be ending with. Is there anything fun we can end with? Is there like an Alien versus Predator Christmas special where we're on Kashiki again for Life Day, but it's the Oucha, and they're smoking pot with the aliens, and then they have sex with Aunt Carney? I mean, I don't know. Is there something like that we could cover after?
I only wish, because unfortunately that is how it's going to end until, and until other things. But we have more good Alien movies besides Aliens. Because I told you, Alien Romulus is pretty fucking awesome.
Here's the thing. I think 3 is an interesting discussion. Prometheus is going to 4. I find fun as hell.
Yeah.
Prometheus is going to be an interesting discussion. Like, I think all of these movies, at the very least, are going to be good discussions. Like, I don't think that I'm not going to be coming on here with a gun to my head and a fucking shot in my hand going, I can't fucking do this anymore. The worst that it's going to get before AVP is, all right, that kind of sucked, but let's dissect why. Because it could have been something.
Yeah.
But then we have the AVP, and it's like, why did I go from watching a movie to being kicked in the balls for 3 hours?
Wait until you see Requiem. I think we're gonna get a fuck you movie in that. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
I think so.
It's that bad?
I'm gonna call it right now. You're gonna be really angry.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna file that.
I'm gonna call it now. Months in advance. I'm calling it.
And you know what's gonna be funny is I'm gonna forget that we had this conversation, and I probably will be like, "Fuck you, movie," and you'll be like, "I knew it. And I'll be
if we can do the show right after you watch that movie, so it's fresh.
I'll tell you what though. If I feel a fuck you movie in me after I watch it, I will text it to you, and you can feel free to screenshot it and project it to the audience.
Fair enough. All right. So, Jason, that does it for us for this year as well. So,
oh shit! Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hopefully, everyone had a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everything, all the holidays together.
Good Life Day. Don't forget Life Day. Life Day,
also very important as well.
Very important.
All right, and I'll never forget the events of Nakatomi Plaza. Well. Some good people like Ellis, were lost during that whole thing, and
goodbye, Ellis.
He was in a trance, with Supergirl years before that, and then he eventually moved on to work for Nakatomi. So he went through a lot.
Look, it was the drugs that was the problem. I mean, if he wasn't on cocaine, I used to tell him, Ellis, if you didn't do the cocaine, you wouldn't be so chummy with terrorists. Don't trust Alan Rickman, I used to say. And what did he do? He didn't listen.
Well, listen, if you were in Supergirl, you would have maybe turned into a coke. You would have turned to coke as well.
I mean, either that or I would have just been walking around and people going, spray.
Squirts. Thanks for joining us as always. If you joined us on the Facebook live stream, be sure to check out Granny's PHT's Facebook group. We share lots of Avengers trailers these days and other good stories and stuff like that. Some good conversation going on the page as well. Check out Pop Culture Pros and popculturepros.com. Also on YouTube, subscribe to Pop Culture Pros, and also wherever you found your audio-only podcast. Jason and I will be back next week. We'll be talking more Fallout Season 2. Along with, we will have another Avengers trailer before our next episode, so we'll be talking about the X-Men one, so that'll be interesting. And we'll also be talking about Aliens, the James Cameron directed sequel that we already were, glossing over tonight as well. Happy New Year, everybody. Have a safe and happy New Year, however you choose to celebrate. Jason, Happy New Year as well.
Happy New Year to you, my friend.
And we'll see you next week. Next year, then. Peace.
Later.